this is Lisa from Life in Layouts. Thanks for joining me for another process video. Today I am using this kit that I picked up from Peachy Cheap, from We Are Memory Keepers American Crafts. Honey, I'm Home is the title of the kit, and this again was a Peachy Cheap deal, so that you got like a 6x6 paper pad, the stickers, and I believe the wood veneer. So I wanted to use some of these silly photos of me and my boyfriend, and this was actually not our first date, but because we had been dating for probably a couple weeks at this point, but this was a very significant date because this was the date that I had officially told him that like I wanted to be his girlfriend, because he had asked me, you know, not just to date him, but to be his girlfriend. And so I agreed when we were on this date, and it actually turned out to be really nice because we had gone to a movie in the park, and at the end of the movie is when I told him. So it was a lot of fun time, and then this was us trying to take pictures so that we could post it on Facebook that we were at the movies in the park. So, you know, you have to take like a ton of selfies to get a good picture going. So that was what these pictures are all about. So nothing really significant, just selfie photos. I use this technique a lot when I have what I consider cell phone photos, because they're usually in this landscape portrait. They're in portrait mode. I have to think about which way it is, where I just span them across the page and then fill in with any additional paper that I don't have enough photos to fill across. So here I had 5 photos, so I just needed one additional 4x6 pattern paper. I used the Worn Lipstick Distress ink to ink all of the edges, and now I'm just adhering everything down using my T-square ruler. I have the big 18-inch T-square ruler, which I got off of Amazon, to line up the 2 double sides of the layout, and then putting the finishing touch. So there's the bones of my layouts, and I really like this circle paper, and I thought that I could make a design with it. So what I'm going to end up doing is I had to cut a little bit of the strip because the circles were not full circles on that first row of circles. So cut a little piece off and then just cut them the size of the circles. And what I'm trying to do is cover up the seams from those 6x6 papers. So I had to, you know, put 2 papers together to make the 12x12. So I'm trying to cover it up, the seams, with different things. So I cut out different pattern paper using my banner punch, and now just lining them up and inking the edges so that they cover up that seam. So I end up covering up all 4 of the seams with different aspects of things. So this is where I take the circle paper again, and what I end up doing is making a like kind of a steps up. So there's 4 circles on the bottom, 3, 2, and then I'll put 1 right there at the top. So I like the way that came out, and used it as my embellishment foundation by making my own embellishment. So after I put all 4 of those down, then I pull out the sticker sheets and the wood veneers that came with this pack, and I'm looking through them trying to decide which one I want to use. And these wood veneer are really nice because they're thinner than a lot of the wood veneer, so it's like a real thin chipboard. And so my title is going to be Better Together, so I used that on the right hand side, and then I found these hearts that I end up using on the left. And then I pulled out the sticker sheet. So there was a 6x12 sticker sheet, and then also a puffy sticker sheet that came with it. So I thought this was a really good Peachy Cheap deal. And if you haven't checked out Peachy Cheap, it is a pretty awesome company. They send you daily deals. You get them, like I usually get them first thing when I wake up in the morning, and I'll check them out. They are one of the companies that once they're gone, they're gone. So you definitely have to check it out in the morning, because there's been times where I've woken up and checked it out and been like, oh, I want to get that later, but running late, and then by the time I get a second, maybe at lunchtime or something like that, the deal will be gone. So sometimes they have, like, this is like a whole kit where you get the 6x6 paper pad, the wood veneer, and then 2 sticker sheets, and I think it was like $10. So I think it's a really good deal. Sometimes they have stuff that it's like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. And so I would say I would probably buy maybe 2 or 3 times a month from them. And like I said, their deals are always between, $10 or $12. So I feel like I definitely get my money's worth on that. So now I'm just building up these 3 clusters here. I added some diamonds, and I used fun foam on one of them, and then I glued down the other 2 directly to the layout, and then added some hearts stickers as well, and put a little heart sticker and 2 button stickers on the diamonds. And then of course the 6x6 paper pad has little cut aparts, so those are perfect for using as part of the embellishment clusters as well. And this is where I'm going to journal, and I'm going to add that to the top left hand side of the layout with the little stair stackers there, and I use fun foam to pop it up. So then I also end up using this diamond as well, and I put that, trying to decide, it actually ends up being on the right hand side of the paper. I thought I was gonna add it to that cluster, but I knew I needed something on the top right to cover up that seam as well, so that's where this diamond comes in. So now just looking through all the other stickers, puffy stickers and sticker sheets to see if there's anything else. I do find these little flower twig leaves, and I think that looks really nice there next to it. And then I pull out, these are thickers, word thickers, so I'm trying to decide what to use. I really like this XOXO, and it's like in a really pretty gold color. And I also pulled out, I think, the word love, because I was thinking I was gonna do XOXO and love, but then I just didn't like the way that looked. I think it was more the way the word love was written that I didn't like. So I just kept the XOXO. And then trying to see if there's anything else I want to add. And I find this little diamond piece as well, and I wanted to use that so I could bring in the diamond from the left side, just really accent it. But when I laid it down, I didn't like the contrast. I felt like it just got lost. So what I end up doing is using this pink flower paper, and I'm gonna back it so that it has a small border around it. And then once I get this down, I realize that now the diamond looks kind of lost. So I end up taking that off as well and backing it to the flower paper. So it gives it just that darker pink, lets it set, have a different set to the stripe paper and then the light pink paper that's I used as my background. So I love the way that that looks now with that dark pink behind it. And then just trying to figure out what else to do. I hate cutting because I cannot cut with my scissors a straight line. It's so difficult for me. So I always try to pull out my trimmer whenever possible, but it just wasn't working for this one because it was such a tiny piece and a tiny little piece that I had to pull out. So I cut out those just to trim those little hearts there as well. Oh, actually no, I do end up using this wood grain piece for my journaling. So I cut out a small square, I think a 3x4 rectangle, and add it to the heart there on the end to use my journaling, or add my journaling. So now I'm just going to draw the lines with my 0 center ruler and then add my journaling. And again, just talking about our date and how silly and crazy we are sometimes. And then I think I end up adding the date with a roller date stamp. And I think I've said this before, I back up all of my photos on Google Drive, so that's why I have my phone there to the bottom right, is that I love Google Drive because it backs up automatically for one, and then two, it's easy to pull up to see the exact date of things. And then that is it. Thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layouts, hit that subscribe button because that's all I do on this channel. Thanks everyone and have a scrappy day.